Hello and welcome to the South edition of the Property Show, and here's wishing you a very, very happy 2016. Each day filled with joy, health and prosperity from the entire team of the Property Show. Well, we will trace property hotspots and best developing projects from Bengaluru, Chennai, Hyderabad and many more locations in the South. And to analyze micro markets, we have with us Trivita Roy, Associate Director Research and REIS at JLL India. Trivita, thank you very much for joining me from the Hyderabad studio. I'll come to you in just a moment. Meanwhile, let's tell you what's on the show today. We've stacked up top 4 micro markets of Bengaluru to be covered for a wide range of home options in budgets between 30 and 70 lakh rupees. Also a ground report from Horamavu and why this place is becoming a favorite with the city's IT workforce. Does it make sense for you to buy a home here? Wide range of projects for every budget from prime micro markets of Hyderabad. We will start at 40 lakhs, going up right up to 3 crore rupees. Look at that range. And homes under 65 lakh rupees in well-established and well-connected locations of Chennai. And with the start of a new year, also a home loan guide on how do you get the best deal on your home loan in 2016. All right, so lots and lots stacked up on the show today, but let's start with something positive which happened in 2015. This was a year when finally inflation started to ease off, giving the Reserve Bank enough room to bring interest rates down. Bank rates were slashed 4 times, adding to a total cut of 1.25%. Today on this show, we are joined by Adil Shetty, CEO bankbazaar.com, to run us through some of the smart ways you can use as a customer to get the best deal on a home loan. Adil, hi, thank you very much for joining me today. I think the big question that we need to ask, or all buyers want to know, is can they really get a good bargain out there in the market today?
Yeah, absolutely, Manisha. There are about 25 options out there. There are the private sector banks, there are the NBFCs, there are the public sector banks. The rates have, like you said, fallen through all of 2015. We have rates at 9.6, 9.7, 9.5% now. Processing fees vary bank by bank. Some of these banks are running end of year special offers at 0 proc fee. So one definitely needs to research the market, both online and offline, in order to make sure that one accesses the right financial product, which is a combination of who will lend me the amount I need at the lowest processing fee, at the speed and convenience that I need. So there are 25 options out there, and it's definitely possible to hunt down the best deal.
As I see it from our research, Adil, the top 5 lowest home loan rates seem to be HDFC, 9.55% right now, and in the last 6 months they've really cut down rates by almost 2%. There's SBI at the same rate, ICICI and Axis at 9.65. Do you, I mean, because yours is a portal which allows you to really compare, is there some sort of a categorization that for high ticket loans there are some housing finance companies and banks which are better to go with vis-a-vis, let's say, a mid-segment home and then an affordable home?
So when it comes to the mid-segment and the high segment, right, it's a fairly competitive market. All of the players are competing there. So like you rightly pointed out, the public sector banks, private sector banks, and in fact today a lot of the NBFCs, right, are also competing in that space. So you have offers from a Tata Capital, you have offers from an India Bulls, and a lot of new competition in the mid-market and the up-market home loan size. When it comes to the small ticket loans, right, at 5 and 10 lakhs, we're also seeing a lot of developments on those sides with the likes of an AU Finance, with the likes of a Aspire Home Finance, a Grow Home Finance. So a lot of people, NBFC is making offers in the low segment also. One thing I want to point out is while you quoted the fall in the interest rate also, people should also look at what is the processing fee on the loan. People should also look at what is the loan amount that the bank is willing to give me for the tenor I want. Someone might want a 25 or a 30-year tenor loan, and certain banks offer that. So like I said, rate is not the only thing. There are 3-4 other parameters, right, which the home loan researcher should consider while accessing the right financial product.
All right, so you're saying tenure should be considered, and how much does he have to put from his pocket vis-a-vis how much is the bank willing to finance, and of course the interest rate and processing fee. So these are the 4 parameters which are important. Adil, I would like to understand from you, is there any benefit of going with a bank versus a housing finance company? There seems to be a sense that banks are always cheaper than housing finance companies. Is that a myth?
So this actually depends lender by lender. I don't think we can make a sweeping statement like that. So for example, a lot of housing finance companies have competitive offers. So if you look at HDFC, right, they have an extremely competitive offer. Also, a lot of banks have competitive offers out there. Whether you're looking at, a foreign bank like a Citibank or an HSBC. So I think you cannot generalize. For one's particular profile and for the type of property one's buying, one needs to research the market. And like I said, right, for any property out there, people feel that there are 3 or 4 options. But in today's market, there are 25 options across NBFCs, private sector banks, foreign banks, public sector banks. And one needs to look to see which is the right offer which meets my requirements for my property. And again, I would stay away from a sweeping statement saying one type of lender is better than another. I would actually say what is the right lender for me to access this product.
Okay, if I do find a situation where I have 3 or 4 lenders meeting all my parameters, is there a possibility of actually pitching them against each other and getting, let's say, a rate lower than what's written on their headline number?
So I would say that you should definitely speak with the person you're taking the offer from to see what is possible. Or you can go online, right? And without really sharing any personal information, you have all the 25 offers listed out there. So whether you're doing it offline or online, I would say definitely research before you jump into it, because this is a large financial decision. For me, right, this is potentially the largest financial decision I will make in a 10-year period. So deeply research it, understand the offers out there, understand the 4 parameters that you spoke about, and then jump in. If you do it online, it might be all available on one screen. If you're talking to people, just talk to them to see what is the best possible.
Okay, and final question, what's your own gut feel in terms of what RBI might do in the upcoming monetary policy? Do you think it's going to keep status quo, or do you think that we could get another cut?
So a couple of points, right? So one is, I think we expect that there will be further rate cuts in 2016. What will happen in the next monetary policy review, I think it's hard to predict, but there will be cuts in 2016. Another very interesting development is starting April 1st, the new marginal cost of funds lending rate, or MCLR, starts to kick in for new home loans, essentially to make sure that the transmission of rate cuts to borrowers happens very quickly. Right. The RBI regulation has already been gone out. So April 1st, we can expect the MCLR regime to kick out, which I think is great for consumers.
Absolutely, because otherwise there could be a huge time lag between really RBI bringing down bank rates and it getting passed on to the end consumer. So that's a big move coming up in April. Thank you so much, Adil, for joining us today, and a very, very happy new year.
Same to you, Manisha.
All right, let's go on to take our questions and answers. And of course, with the micro markets, we're going to cover our Bengaluru, Dudakanel, Electronic City and Kengeri. Bengaluru will be the focus. We've got Money on the phone line with us. Money, hi, go ahead. Have you shortlisted a micro market that you want to buy in, and what's your budget?
Thanks, Manisha. My son is in Bangalore. He has shortlisted this Bengaluru project, what is known as Archid Lakeview project apartment. I think the developer is Goel Company.
All right.
I just it is being offered at 4,500 square feet. It's about 11, 12 stories building. We want to know about the location. Second, the offer price. Is it the area market price? And most importantly, I want to know the developer's background.
Okay.
I hope it's not a fly-by-night operator.
All right, so Galaxy, all right, fair enough, sir. Galaxy Developers is the name of the developer, but let me just get you first whether you've chosen the right micro market, Bengaluru. Trivita, what do you think of the potential of this market?
Well, in terms of potential, I would say yes, this market has a lot of potential. Appreciation is likely to happen, continues to happen in this market because most of the office spaces are located in and around this location. Definitely, as I think entire Bangalore faces a traffic issue and a lot of infrastructural issues, which typically Bengaluru also faces. But in terms of appreciation and in terms of location for walk to work kind of this thing where you will not have to spend much of time to reach your work destination, Bengaluru definitely is one of the good locations in Bangalore. Because the entire office market most of the chunk of office market is spread out across the entire stretch of that, outer ring road, which is close to Bengaluru.
All right, okay. I think next to Bengaluru is also Marathalli. Do you think these are two micro markets that the gentleman, Mr. V. Mani, can consider, or would you say just stick to Bengaluru?
Yes, definitely. See, the entire stretch coming down from Marathalli to Bengaluru and also beyond, which is if you just take off Bengaluru and going a little towards Sarjapur Road, that entire stretch definitely has that potential because the amount of office spaces that are located over there, which are seeing a lot of absorption, so there would be a demand for rental spaces. There would definitely be appreciation of property because of all this kind of development that is there. It has a social infrastructure in place. Connectivity is there, good there. Connectivity is improving, I would say, although there are some issues where the roads have to be done and all that, but that definitely not Bengaluru.
Okay.
But yes, in that entire stretch from Marathalli to Bengaluru is a good location.
All right.
It is one of the I would say good locations. Yes.
Fair enough. And I can see that both these markets have very, very comfortable inventory overhang, which means sales are happening here, Trivita. 15 months and 13 months, these are figures which are very, very healthy in any given market. So that's a figure that you need to look at. It's only taking 13 months, or it will take 13 months for the current inventory, or I'm trying to find a simpler word for it, or current stock of apartments to get sold. So that's a good, healthy figure. Let me come, Mr. Mani, to the project that you've shortlisted, which is Orchid Lakeview by Galaxy Developers. We're giving it a go-ahead as per Prop Equity data for the simple reason that it's an advanced stage of construction. So your developer risk is actually almost nil here. It's a local developer, nothing wrong with it, and the project is opposite RMZ Eco Space off Marathalli Outer Ring Road. So we think that it's a good project to go with. Its proximity to Bangalore Central Mall also makes it one of the preferred projects. Spread over 4 acres rather. This property comprises of about 6 towers of G+14. So that's the project that we like. Now we've got some other locations and projects for you which you might want to consider. These are your within your budget. Sonesta Iwoods, Bengaluru. This is priced at 4,400 rupees per square foot. Developer is Nirman, Sonesta Developers. And again, completion date is very close, 2016. It's going to get completed this year. There is a certain comfort that we have with Bengaluru developers. They're pitched against some of the biggest names like Brigade, Shobha, Prestige, and the smaller developers will not survive this market if they do not actually deliver quality at the right price and in time. So they do work, most of them do work really hard to give you a good product. There's also Sonesta Iwoods, we've just talked about this one. Oak Gardens is a third project, innovative group, and it's actually priced much more comfortably or below the average market price of Marathalli. Is 3,800 rupees per square foot, and again completion date is 2016. So all of these are available within this year. So 2 projects, and the one that you've shortlisted, Mr. Mani, also gets a go ahead. What is it that you'd like to buy?
Hi Manisha, hi. Actually, I'm looking a property in Bangalore in Sarjapur area,
Okay.
and I have finalized a property which is called Sai Vandana Vrindavan. So, but I have an issue, like they told me the land is a BBMP approved, but it is under Gram Panchayat, so they cannot give me a OC certificate. They are ready to give me a CC certificate, but they will not be able to give me OC certificate. But at the same time, they told me it is approved by the SBI bank. So I have 2 queries. One,
Okay.
is SBI approval is sufficient for clearance of property?
Okay.
And the number 2 is, shall I go ahead without OC certificate? Because, and I have to consider my budget is less. My budget is somewhere around 40 lakhs. So I have to think over it also.
All right, Manoj, first of all, we'll help you find something in 40 lakhs, but it's an absolute no. Developer not giving you an OC, it's an absolute no. The second thing is that, yes, it might have an SBI go ahead, but we've seen in the past just having a bank finance tie-up doesn't really mean that that project is a clear project. So we would say Sai Vandan Brindavan is an absolute no. So let's come back to the market that you're looking at and whether this market, Dodakanali, is a good one in your budget, which is 40 lakh rupees. Twitter, what do you think?
Yes, it is just, if you look at that market, it is just off the market we were just talking about. It is the entire IT belt which is stretching across the outer ring road. It extends quite deep, and just behind these IT parks, I would say, comes the location. Okay. So again, because one good thing is this location definitely offers a pocket-friendly option. Because it is a little off the main roads, and in terms of connectivity also you have the Sajapur road connectivity, and the roads are improving. There are many launches happening along these roads, so definitely the infrastructure is slowly improving in these locations, and the connectivity to these IT parks is definitely there. And social infrastructure and other infrastructure, I would say, is still under making, but yeah, it will improve going forward. But that is where the advantage is, where you get it more pocket friendly at this point of time.
Okay, fair enough. So that's the micro market review for you, and we've shown some of the statistics. Manoj, now Sai Vandana Brindavan. We've already said a no, and just to reiterate why we don't like projects which don't have an OC, actually OC is pretty much what you really need to say that, hey, this is the property I own, this is the area that I own, and if the developer is not providing it, which essentially means that if there's any deviation from the approved plan, also if there's any kind of a setback on any of the sides of the project, you will have no recourse. So drop this project. Here are the two that we think you should go ahead with, which are coming close to your budget. One is Mana Carmel by Mana Projects at a price point of 3,700 rupees per square foot. Total units are 80, and again the completion date will be 2016. We've got one more recommendation for you, and let's bring that up as well. This is Sai Ram Gardens by Sri Sai Ram Group. Again, within your budget, 40 lakh rupees. Total units are 89, and completion date is 2016. So if you've got an option of two projects within your budget with OC, I think that's a better one to go with. It's kind of obvious, isn't it? All right, let's also now bring you some updates on what's happening in the Bengaluru micro markets. If you're looking for a home with excellent connectivity but are on a budget, then Horamavu is an option you might want to consider. The suburb is today attracting many IT employees of the city for quality homes that are priced right. Lakshmi Sivdas reports on what's working for Horamavu and what are the pitfalls of this area.
It has become the most populated ward in Bengaluru, and with it, Horamavu's real estate fortunes are also turning a corner. A dearth of land and homes in neighbouring localities Banaswadi and Ramamurthy Nagar have made home buyers and developers weigh options in Horamavu. And things are working in the locality's favour. For one thing, home buyers can access economically priced homes here.
Since we've invested on land at an earlier stage, we are able to offer that at a reasonable price. So you have good connectivity, and yes, because it's reasonably priced, sales have been fantastic. Horamavu has great potential because as of now, the price discovery hasn't happened. So you still see a lot of appreciation that can be expected in the near term.
The average sale price for apartments here start at 4,400 rupees a square foot, and there are over 60 real estate developers with projects here. The area's affordability has also caught investor interest, say developers. Investors have received returns of nearly 11% for the last 2 years according to Prop Equity data. But that's just one part of the picture. Considering Horamavu is located strategically in the outer ring road with easy access to both North and South Bengaluru, many consider homes here a value for money buy.
Once upon that time, this area was quite far away from the city, but today it is a heart of the city. You see the distance for the airport, Railways like Cantonment, East, Kayarpuram, all are nearby. Hebal nearby, Manyata Tech is nearby, MG Road, Commercial Street, all are in the nearby vicinity.
Top developers whose projects you can explore in Auramaba include Kolte Patil, Prestige Estates, DS Max and Akshaya Builders. However, social infrastructure is still underdeveloped here.
The social infrastructure is still not developed, which is basically your schools, colleges, your malls and other things. Nothing else is developed in this micro market space. So the nearest, if somebody needs, there's an emergency and somebody needs to go, the nearest entry point, nearest place where they can go and get some kind of help is probably the ITI colony or ORR.
Home buyers should also be wary of traffic bottlenecks at Kayarpuram. However, apart from these setbacks, developers say that Auramaba is a good destination for buyers and is set to see overall development in the next 5 to 7 years. From Bengaluru, Lakshmi Shivdas for NDTV.
All right, from Bengaluru, we will move to Hyderabad and explore property markets for home options starting from 40 lakh rupees. Also projects from well-lived micro markets of Chennai. And check out our property tracker of this new year. This week is capital highs from Aditya Constructions in Hyderabad, Kukatpalli.